we still had some money to spend, and we thought, okay, we have one shot. We need to make something great, to invent something great, and hopefully it works out. So basically we dissected bridge and bridge competitions to create something different. And also it was now well post-COVID, so people were getting back to normal life. And that's why maybe our better stuff didn't succeed at all, because when people are stuck at home, they can dedicate the time. But the new realities were that people were having more dynamic lives, and also the online was second thing now for playing bridge. And more importantly, they have some duties. They need to go somewhere, or their husband or wife calls them and they need to terminate the game immediately. So we focused on inventing something that has the potential that you close it immediately and you continue whenever you can. So this was the first successful thing we got there with the run games, that you are totally flexible. You can play 3 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 minutes, whatever. And actually that is funny, because when you think, oh, I'll play ranked games, maybe I need to close them in 5 minutes, but I won't be harmed in any way. So people start, and actually in our lives, they're more boring than we think. In 5 minutes, nothing happens. In 1 hour, nothing happens. And people just keep playing, play next. So they'll spend a lot more time. And after actually we introduced the subscription to play unlimited run games, some people subscribed and then unsubscribed because they couldn't do their normal working duties. They said, I want half subscription, I want a limitation of 30 hands a day, I'll lose my job if I continue like this.
I'm excited to welcome my very first Bulgarian onto the setting trick. His name is Stefan Skorchev, and you might know him as the guy, if you go to the Nationals, you might know him as the guy walking around in the big funny hat. I have known him since 2012, when he was playing on the Bulgarian junior team in the 14th World Youth Team Championships. And I used to hire some Bulgarian pros to come play the Nationals with me in the U.S., including Kalen Karaivanov. May he rest in peace. And Kalen is the guy who told me about Stefan when I was heading to those junior championships. And then I played in I can't remember the name of the tournament in Bulgaria. And gosh, how can I forget that? And I got to meet your fiance, Desi, there. I think that was in 2012. But it's always a pleasure, Stefan, to see you at tournaments. And I love what you're doing with IntoBridge. And, we were just in Iceland having at the Icelandic Bridge Festival. And we have a friend in common, a partner in common, Svenny Eriksson. So welcome to the setting trick.
Thank you, John. Thank you very much. Glad to hear that you are friends with my friends and you hired almost all Bulgarians except me. And you are a friend with my fiance. But yeah, if I'm here, then you have some good opinion about me too, I hope. Yes, we know each other for a long time now in the scope of bridge life, not so much, like 10, 12 years, but and see how much you've progressed. Now in Iceland, you are winning while I was in the middle. So with hard work, to all bridge players who want to get better, with hard work, you get better. And without hard work, you get worse. So, yeah. And now we are meeting in Memphis again. And let's see what happens there.
Speaking of, you had some great results when you were just starting out, when you were pretty young. Like you finished, I think you got to the quarterfinals of the Open World Championship, and you finished third in the European Transnationals. I mean, this was even before the World Juniors in 2012.
Yes, one Bulgarian friend said, Stefan, you used to be young and talented, and you're just young now. So basically, this is what happened. I was playing all the time. Actually, my father bought us, me and my brother, a computer at the early age in order to learn coding and stuff. But I was basically 15 hours a day playing bridge without giving access to my brother to the computer. So this is how I ended up playing bridge. And it's really about the time you spend, and everyone successful at any sport will tell you, no matter how much talent you have, if you don't spend your 10,000 plus hours. So I was very fortunate to be sponsored to go to tournaments and get this invaluable experience, because online is nice and I was playing a lot online. But when you go to a tournament, also the opponents are more focused. If you do well, you get to play stronger opponents. So I was very lucky at 17 to have a sponsor, someone to cover my expenses. At least I didn't, not in the American way of playing professionally, but just covering expenses. At that age, it's more than enough. And yeah, we had some junior success. First, we came second in the under 21 category in Italy, European Championships. 20 years after the last time Bulgaria had a team there. So this was the first good thing we did. Then in 2009, we came third in the Open Europeans. 2010, the quarterfinal in Philadelphia, we lost to Diamond, the team that won. So yeah, I had success back then, but I haven't had any recently.
Who did you play with on the team that lost to Diamond?
So Kalin, who you mentioned before, by the way, his daughter, rest in peace, Kalin, his daughter yesterday graduated and she's a doctor now. I know that you'll be happy to hear that. She's a wonderful girl. So Kalin and Rumen were on the team, and me and Bobby Popov, my bridge partner back then, and the sponsor, Tony Rusev. He's a sponsor in terms of paying, but he's expert himself. So we were 5-handed, and Kalin will rotate playing with Rumen and Tony, and me and Bobby would play all the time. So it was yeah, maybe it wasn't the last big exciting thing. 2016 I played for Bulgaria, and the last match we needed to do fine to qualify for the World Championships, and we did. So that was the last more exciting thing I played.
Tony Rusev, also known as Vito. He was, what was the festival I played in Bulgaria?
Stara Zagora. It's called Stara Zagora, but I'm sure you'll forget it by tomorrow because it's not the easy name. It's where the biggest tournament is organized. This guy, Tony Rusev, is the sponsor I mentioned earlier. He's done so much for Bulgarian bridge. And he's a great guy, not just giving money or taking people for his own benefit, but also doing good stuff for everybody. He's been amazing. And yeah, without him, I wouldn't be here for sure.
But he goes by Vito. People call him Vito, right? Tony?
Vito, but yeah, when you hear Vito, you think about Vito Corleone and stuff like that, but it's a lot simpler than that. His company is called Vito, from Vili. V is his wife, Vili, and Tony. So it's Vili and Tony, and that's why it's Vito. So it didn't have the meaning that we attached to it, and the guy has nothing to do with the mafia. So yes, his his username on BBO and other platforms. He hasn't played on IntoBridge yet. See how bad I am at marketing, but we'll talk about this later, I guess. But yeah, he's Vito. He goes by that nickname.
And so Pasha, this is Kalin's daughter. Pasha, she went to England for school, right? Did she?
No, she was in Bulgaria, in Sofia, in the most elite medical university. We have a few of those here, and we get students worldwide. But no, she was here. We get very good education here.
Was she in England for something?
Well, she came for a while to be my guest, visiting some cultural exhibitions, but nothing for a long time now.
So when I went to Stara Zagora, so I flew into Sofia, and then we went to Stara Zagora. We played the Bridge Festival there. I played with Alex Hadjev, and my teammates were Jerry Stamatov and Dianov. What's
Dian Danilov, yeah. Dian Danilov, yeah.
And Dido they call him. And so then from there, by the way, Lotan won that event.
Like most of the events he entered.
And then we went from there to to the easternmost part of the country, which was Varna, which is where Alex and Kalin lived. And so I stayed with Alex. I was there for several days, played some bridge. Rumen, Trendafilov, Kalin's partner, lived there. We went to Kalin's house for dinner one night. I think it must have been I'm not sure if it's 2012 or 2013, but it was a fun trip.
Until then I was spending a lot of time at Kalin's as well. They kind of adopted me as their kid because my home place was 30 kilometers, for American listeners, 20 miles away from this wonderful town Varna. And I was renting there and I was alone, so they would invite me almost every night whenever I like to go with them, play bridge, socialize. He's been like second father to me. And Varna is one of the best cities in the world. When I used to live in England, I organized some bridge holidays there and people liked it a lot. It's an amazing city on the Black Sea, and I highly recommend visiting it. We also have some good bridge tournaments there, so you can combine beach and bridge.
And I think they had a golf tournament there that was on
We have
television.
3 golf courses on the cliffs next to the seaside, so you're hitting the ball and you're looking at this wonderful panorama of the sea, and it's beautiful. Just for that, it's worth starting playing golf. And yeah, there are three golf courses. We get a lot of tourists from Scandinavia. It's really nice area.
Stefan has a shirt with an IntoBridge logo on it, and you wear IntoBridge paraphernalia at all the nationals. So if anybody wants to come up and introduce themselves in Memphis, which is next month, please, he'll be wearing this huge baseball hat that he says isn't very heavy, and a shirt like the one he's wearing if you're watching this on YouTube.
Yeah, basically I'm the most noticeable person there because I look a bit weird. But yeah, I'm normal. I'm just trying to get your attention, guys. So don't be scared. Come and say hi.
So IntoBridge, you guys, you've created some really cool things. You started out with the ranked games, which when I first discovered that pretty early on, I think. And I would play on there for hours at a time, trying to get my ranking up. You've sort of adjusted the format a little bit, and now you have a daily celebrity challenge too. And it's become like, I really look forward to like last night, for example. I was like, man, I've already played the daily celebrity. I wish I could, I've really started looking forward to that because you play 5 boards, board a match scoring, and the celebrity records a video, like an over the shoulder video where they're discussing their thought process. And we discussed this at length in Iceland over some drinks with Svenny, and that was kind of like, I thought about interviewing you on this podcast, but that sort of sealed it for me. It's really interesting to kind of understand how the sausage is made.
Well, so we started developing IntoBridge early 21. We had a plan to launch it for a few months, but it took 3 times more. And we launched with casual tables, team matches, and pairs duplicates. We added embedded audio video connection. We added personal statistics after pairs games. We added discussion rooms for the team after a team match is done. So we enhanced all of the popular bridge games, and we thought, everybody will come and play IntoBridge now. And the result wasn't 0, but yeah, some great friends of mine who didn't want to discourage me too much were coming from time to time. And I was trying to build up some tournaments, and I have a list of 30, 40, 50 friends that I was exploiting to come and play. But it was from a business point of view, I could say a disaster, because it turned out what we learned for 2 years of hard work is that people actually don't care if you do something better. They care about something new. And although we had some new things, they were just better than the core models that other platforms had and still have. So this is what we learned from that initial experience. And then we still had some money to spend, and we thought, okay, we have one shot. We need to make something great, to invent something great, and hopefully it works out. So basically we dissected bridge and bridge competitions to create something different. And also it was now well post-COVID, so people were getting back to normal life, and that's why maybe our better stuff didn't succeed at all, because when people are stuck at home, they can dedicate the time. But the new realities were that people were having more dynamic lives, and also the online was second thing now for playing bridge. And more importantly, they have some duties. They need to go somewhere, or their husband or wife calls them and they need to terminate the game immediately. So we focused on inventing something that has has the potential that you close it immediately and you continue whenever you can. So this was the first successful thing we got there with the run games, that you are totally flexible. You can play 3 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 minutes, whatever. And actually that is funny, because when you think, oh, I'll play ranked games, maybe I need to close them in 5 minutes, but I won't be harmed in any way. So people start, and actually in our lives, they're more boring than we think. In 5 minutes, nothing happens. In 1 hour, nothing happens. And people just keep playing, play next, play next, play next. So they'll spend a lot more time. And after actually we introduced the subscription to play unlimited ranked games, some people subscribed and then unsubscribed because they couldn't do their normal working duties. They said, I want half subscription. I want a limitation of 30 hands a day. I'll lose my job if I continue like this. So also ranked games, we thought we won't completely reinvent the wheel. So we thought what successful formats are in other games that don't exist in bridge. And in virtual gaming, or these games that are very popular amongst younger people especially, there was this format ranked games that was coming, and more games were adopting it. And this whole idea that you play people of your rank and being having immediate matchup and immediate results. And we know from the ACBL world that people only care about having competitive environment. They don't want to be too good or too bad compared to the field. So through the ranked games, being able to rank the players, we could match them based on their skill level after they play some hands, and create a competitive environment. And then if you win, you grow. And we first used actually the EO from chess, because again, we didn't want to reinvent the wheel, but we saw that there's some general issues with the EO for chess applied for bridge, and it wasn't working. So we copied, I think, League of Legends or one of those games, the idea of how the ranks move, and that you have a sub rank, but after you climb a rank, you cannot go back. So because otherwise it's like the good players will always be on the top and the bad players on the bottom. So we wanted to make it that if you make one push and you climb that step, then there is no way back. So it gives you the sense of feeling happy about it. And that's the most important thing for me. Online bridge is to bring you happiness and to keep you entertained. I don't take it that seriously, although I'm running an online platform. I think it's just a complement to the real game, and there is nothing wrong in that. Instead of playing Sudoku or some other games that take time, we can play bridge on our phones, for example.
I think IntoBridge, you guys have created a robot called Leah, and I think it's a great way to like sharpen my own, declare skills for sure.
Well, why do you say that? What part of your skills are sharpened? I mean that seriously, because a world-class player told me that he became better by playing with Leah, and he's mentioned something specific. But what does it bring for you, Leah? How does it make you better?
Well, like for example, if I play on Bridge Base online with the robots there, I just feel like it's it's not like I don't even want to do that because I just feel like it's not a challenging and it's not a strong enough game. Like you get kind of random results, good results randomly. I mean, not that Leah's, I just think Leah's a lot stronger. And so, and then you also have the ability to see the double dummy, to see what the other person did. And you've got this new thing now. I just started paying. I just became a paid subscriber again. And you can now see how Leah would bid. So that's interesting. I just think the feedback is stronger and the game's just tougher. And I don't even want to play it doesn't occur to me to play robot games on bridge base.
Yeah, I hear you. So yeah, indeed, Leah is what I like about Leah. It's like a kid playing bridge, and you can see it every next time you play with her, she gets slightly better, and this is kind of rewarding. And also, big thanks to the guys who send feedbacks and say, "Oh, Leah did badly here. Can you fix that?" So Luc Bellicou from France, he is the guy working full time on the robot, and he's put a lot of work on her, and he's working even harder now. So Leah, we developed us in the beginning. We didn't have a robot on IntoBridge, and because we realized that human games won't run, we needed a quick solution for a robot. So we started working with the robot Ben, which was an open source robot. And this was a great start for us because for free we could launch the ranked games, because the ranked games depend on having robots. So you play with 3 robots and you compare your score to one other person, for those of you who don't know ranked games. And based on if you win, lose, or draw this one board, you go up or down in the ranks. But you need a robot to play. So this robot Ben got us started. It was phenomenal. We got very lucky with it. However, we quickly noticed that the robot will always be that good and it can never be improved. And we thought from business perspective, we need to focus on things that make us better all the time and always evolve, unless we have a complete solution, which we didn't believe we had at all. So then we started working with Luke and started development of Leah. But what happened until last summer, we've been solely working on the bidding of Leah, and now she plays more than 10 different systems, many conventions. But the card play is still run by Ben. We were able to make some small improvements, like the opening lead, like signaling standard count, and a few others. But generally, the engine running the card play is Ben. And since last summer, it's been now 7, 8, 9 months. Luke is working on our card play, which is almost ready, actually, the first version of it. So Leah will be playing on her own, both bidding and playing. And actually, there was some robot championship 2 months ago or something like that. It was informal, and Leah did amazingly well, having such bad carding back then. So yeah, I hope and I actually believe that in 1-2 years from now, Leah will be the best bridge robot for sure, if she's not yet the best bridge robot. And also we are thinking about modifying her in a way that you can modify her, pick your conventions, make your system, and there is so much more to be done. With everything we do, we get 1-2 things right, but then we think about 10 more. So we just need more development power and time, but we have many ideas. And we've got really an A team of bridge players. It's a small team, but everybody knows what they're doing. So things are progressing slowly but surely, and I'm happy with the direction we're heading to. You asked me about the daily earlier because you asked about the rank, and I explained how we came up with the rank games, but the daily was different. So the rank games were great, and some people will get out of bed and play until they get back to bed, but some others may forget about it and not come for a long time. So we were thinking about inventing a format which will incentivize people to return every day. And that is obviously a daily tournament. But if we just did a daily tournament like at other platforms, based on our previous experience, we didn't believe anybody will take it. So we started thinking, we have the run games, they're a success. We want to create a daily, so let's create a mixture of those and also make it in a way that cheating is not incentivized because the way we did it is that one celebrity is playing the hands and you play those 5 hands, you compare to them, but your score is limited and anybody else can achieve that same score. And there is a leaderboard, but it's not at all about who's gonna win the leaderboard. It's more about playing and comparing to the celebrity. And where is the real value? There is the video, as you mentioned. After you finish the game, you can watch a video of the celebrity playing the hands. And what is unique and what is amazing about it actually is that when weaker players get access to better players, it's always in kind of a control environment where either the weak player is asking, oh, I played this hand, how would you play it? And or the expert is prepared through a lesson or some other format, and the experts always sound smart. But we always try to tell people, guys, we get things wrong all the time, but they don't see it. And on the daily celebrity challenge, you see what it is. There are no recordings or anything like that. If things go south, they go south. One of the last times I played, I lost 1,400. I went, I think, down 6 in 4 spades doubled. And it happens every day. So people love this. What people like more than learning something is beating the celebrity. So yeah, and also the celebrities are giving their arguments and people learn a lot from that. Why they're doing that, I never thought about this. And they can see the depth of the game. They know, otherwise, you know you're worse, but you kind of feel, oh, I'm just more stupid or something like that. But it's not like that. It's just the things you're considering during each hand, and listening to that thought process is amazing. And even for me, although I'm rather a good player, there is always something to learn from others, and I like it a lot. So that's how the daily is so successful. But as you told me in Iceland, I unsubscribed because it felt like a donation. I was getting everything I needed without paying, so why should I pay? And you are completely right, because we were offering so much for free. But yeah, now we added some features to stimulate people to subscribe, and there we got you back. So thank you very much for your support. But really, Christoph is my co-founder, a great guy, French guy who lives in London. We don't want people to donate to us. We want people to use the product and pay because they like what they get for paying, and we want to build a real business or not. We don't want people to support us for the sake of that you see me wearing the big hat and let's give some donation to this guy because he feels desperate or something like that. So yeah, we are planning, of course, more things to come and to make it more interesting. We have idea level plans about a few new formats that we think will be super amazing, and they don't exist in Bridge, like especially about one of them. I'm super excited. Obviously, I cannot share more than that because other companies have more development power. But yeah, if we have time, amazing things are coming up, and what we have is just like 10-20% of all we have in our minds for now. And more we work, more ideas come up, and yeah. It's amazing journey, actually, working for a bridge company and what you love. It doesn't feel like work. Like you get some money every month and that's like a bonus. You felt like, but I didn't work at all. I'm just doing what I love. And yeah, it's super amazing. And if there are younger people who love bridge, try to find work in bridge. You won't become very rich, but you'll have a happy life. And that's way more important.
What was I going to say? Oh yeah. So daily celebrity. So, like I've told a fair number of people who are kind of, less experienced than me, like for example, my psychiatrist, retired from psychiatry, and he's gotten really into bridge, which is super exciting. So I see him at the local bridge club. I see him at tournaments, and I told him, I said, this daily celebrity is a great way for you to learn, because you can play these 5 deals. You've got the double dummy analysis of your play. You can see what the celebrity did, and then you can watch the video. And so I think, I'm not sure though. I do wonder if maybe it's over somebody's head like that, who's got maybe less than like 50 ACBL master points. But still, I'm telling people, this is something that I think you should play in terms of starting to learn more how an expert thinks. And so I just want to just share with you. So I've gotten to be the celebrity twice recently. And that was you invited me to do that post Iceland. And so I was on a group chat with you and Svenny. And so I was texting, if I had a good day on the Daily Celebrity, the scores range from 0 to 50. So if you win the board, you get 10 points. If you tie, you get 5. If you lose, you get 0. And so I had a good day, and I would text you. And I want to be vulnerable with you here. So I had thought about reaching out to you before you invited me to be the celebrity and being like, hey, I'd love to do this. But I did not. I wanted the invitation to come from you. And so I was thrilled with the opportunity to do it. And I've got a friend who had never played bridge. So I, like the first time for sure, I sent it out to my family. Like I've got some bridge players in my family. They sort of know how to play. I sent it out to friends, non-bridge players. So I had one friend who'd never played bridge before. And so I walked her through, how to do it. And she played all 5 deals. I don't think she's going to, turn into one of us, but, it's cool. And one of the things that you told me, cause like when we recorded it, so you actually were like online with me when we recorded my 2 challenges. And one of the things you told me was that, like you said here, that the customers like to beat the celebrity. And so I misclicked on something. So I ended up doubling them in 1 no, I think.
Yeah.
And Pete Hollins, actually, who's another one of the celebrities. He's an Australian, what is it?
Streamer.
YouTuber. Bridge. Yeah. And he did it the other day, and he misclicked, I think. So
yeah, well, that's the best for us when you guys misclick, because then you don't embarrass yourself by losing 1,400 like I did, but people are winning, so it's a win-win for everybody. But yeah, from the beginning, first of all, maybe I haven't invited you because you had a few North American Championship titles, but you never had won Iceland, and now you did. So now you're becoming a real international celebrity. No, I should have invited you earlier, but I'm a bit worried that people will think, oh, this guy is bothering me now, taking my time. And because many people don't, if you are playing on IntoBridge and people are really into it and they love it and they'll spend time, we invite people to calls to give us advice to do this, and everybody is like 100% on. But on the other hand, those who don't know, they're always suspicious, because we bridge players are very smart and we can smell the danger coming from everywhere. So I'm very worried to invite people. And yeah, but actually we called it Daily Celebrity and not daily world champion or something, because we thought, okay, who are we going to invite? Is it just because you're a great player? We thought, no, there are people who are great teachers and can teach you a lot more than a world-class player can teach you. And this is happening. You can see that some people have experience with teaching and their explanations are much better. So yeah, this is what we thought about the naming of it. And then about people's happiness, it's a bit weird, because when the celebrities make a mistake, especially if it's their first time or they get a bad board, they're worried, oh, now these people will think that I'm not a real expert. They'll discover me, that I make mistakes, and I'm not so bad. I just did it this time. This is what I'm thinking that they're thinking. And now what the customers are thinking, because we've called it daily celebrity, but most of the players don't really know the celebrities in person or exactly how good they are. But because we've claimed that they're celebrities, the customer assumes, the normal player assumes that they're great players. So no matter how badly you play, they would always think you're a great player. And then when they win against great player, this is like winning the world championship for them. And it's very rewarding because that's the beauty of bridge. We play so many hands and you always have some chance to win at least 1-2 boards. You sit against Zia and you beat him sometimes. Yeah, the guy's great. It's amazing. When you watch him, you think, oh, I'll never be that good. But when you sit against him, occasionally you beat him. And that's the beauty of bridge as well. So I think that's how it works. It works for both sides to make them happy, although the celebrities sometimes don't realize it. But inspired by your misclicks, John and Pete, we are now, just because of celebrities like you, who cannot click the mouse properly, have to spend development time to develop an undo option so you don't embarrass yourself in front of the customers. We don't want that. So yeah, it's coming soon. After we have it on, I'll invite you again because we don't want you to misclick again. And yeah.
So you just launched the app, what you're talking about, and you have, like, when you play a suit, then you press the suit and now you get to choose which card you have to play. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, exactly. That's the confirmation of the card players.
I like it. I didn't like it at first, but I like it better now. I've gotten used to it. It was a learning thing for me to realize, oh, actually I like it better, especially because a lot of times when I'm playing on the app, I'm playing the daily celebrity. And now that I understand, you gave me some more background in the statistics and, like what some of the top players average on there. And so I wanted to, I want to get I've taken this, ever since we had that conversation, I've taken the daily celebrity like way more seriously. Like one of the things you said, which was interesting, was I think you said like the top players that play on there regularly average 25. And you said that that the celebrity tends to do better because they are more invested in their result, because they're recording, they're being made available for everyone. So it makes sense, that the top players that play on there would average 25.
Yeah, even Luke, who is the inventor of Leah, doesn't score more than 25 something on average per day, because when you play casually from home and you know that nobody will judge you harshly about how badly you played, and generally good players, most of the good players want to play fast because they think they know everything, and they know, oh, it's obvious to play that. But when you spend a bit more time, like we know, especially from live events, you discover other lines of plays or better bits, which might be just 5% better, but over time it accumulates and it makes big difference. So indeed, the celebrities are trying hard. When you look at the videos, the average video is between 20 and 30 minutes. So the players normally spend much less time. And especially when you have a world-class player spending 3 times the time that worse player spends, or even equal level player spends, this is just computational power that can hardly be compensated. Of course, sometimes it works the other way around. Because of too much thinking, we do some weird stuff that goes into a disaster, but generally spending more time pays off better.
And I think you told me something after maybe the second time that like we were close to a record number of players. Was that right?
Yeah, we scored a record, but I don't remember if you're still the holder or you're... No, actually, yes, we set a record, then a French guy beat it, and then I sent an email when it was your second time, let's try to beat the record once again, but we were short of 8 participants or something like that. You got 8 fewer than the French guy. But, when we have a French guy, the French people come more often than when we have American guys. So So you can be happy that you achieved as much as he did. But generally, it's progressing. We get 3.5 new people every day. And actually, I had a meeting with Christoph and our lead investor, who is a bridge guy and who is an amazing guy supporting us big time, Arno Flekia. And we were discussing exactly that, how we can get more people, because we all love the format. We know everybody that loves the format plays. But in bridge marketing is very tough. As I mentioned before, if you try to sell something, people are skeptical. So word of mouth has been our best way to get people, because every bridge player has 2-3 friends, and some of them tell their friends, some don't. So I just want to tell people who think that the game is great, tell your friends to come. First, you save us money that we can use for development instead of marketing. And these big hats that Jones jokes about are north of $150. And although they are not heavy, they keep my head very warm. So I'm not too excited to wear that hat, but I will until we have a real business, actually. So yeah, tell your friends and help us get people. And if you don't like it, if you come try and don't like it, before leaving, just spend a minute to tell us why you don't like it, and we promise that we are trying hard to make it in a way that you like it.
How what's the best way to pass that information along? Like email? Is there an email address specifically?
So you can just copy the link to the platform and send it to your friend by email and ask them to try it. But the best way is, while you're waiting for a game online or in person, tell them, now you have 5 minutes because you're going to play with me. Get your phone out and register a new account. And this is, when you see it on your phone or when you have the account, it's much easier because you've become in our bubble and we send you emails. So even if you forget to try it, maybe you can do later. But register an account for them. It's much easier. You can even create their account with, no, you cannot. They need to activate it. But anyway, ask them to register.
I meant like if they have a complaint, if they have like a
Oh, so
point.
there is bug report after you finish a hand in the results page of Rank Games and Daily Celebrity. There is a bug report. Also on the general menu on the left, there is bug report. And also from the web page about us, there is a contact form. You can tell us. My
What's
email
the word
is...
that there is on the sorry, I'm interrupting you.
No, that's fine.
You're going to say your email.
So my email is stefan@intobridge.com. Christoph is christoph@intobridge.com. And we are very easily accessible. And yeah, there are many ways to contact us.
That you can press after the deal that like reports.
So when you finish a hand, you click results, and on the results page on the top where it says victory or loss or whatever, there is, on a phone, there is an icon of a bug, and on the web version there it says report a bug, and this is how
bug.
people
bug.
Yeah.
Bug. I got it.
Yeah. You were joking about my accent and me, the need of taking elocution lessons. Maybe I should, but I told you back then that I'm not doing it.
How did I'm curious, so you were, when we recorded the Daily Celebrity, we were together like on Google Meet, and that's how you recorded it. By the way, I think I could record it for you without you having to be there.
Amazing.
But what are your responsibilities actually within the company?
Oh, theoretically I'm CEO, but in a small company, the CEO does everything that the others don't. So we have people that have specific tasks and I have to do everything else. So starting from the worst, which is administration, lawyers, accountants, investment rounds, all this paperwork that you never imagine when you have a dream to build a bridge platform. You never think about these things, but actually they're... And it reminds me, by tomorrow we need to submit our annual accounts and I need to sign a paper. So that's one big thing. The second big thing is the marketing. So the emails, some of the articles, going to tournaments, recording the Daily Celebrity Challenge, brainstorming some ideas, but the operational part of the platform in the development is Christoph's responsibility. However, I actively participate because it's my baby and I care.
Yeah.
But generally, Christoph is responsible for what is happening development side, and I am responsible on the business side. Although with him with everybody we have calls every day, but with him we are in constant touch, so we don't make big decisions without the other one being happy about it. And now we've been together for so long. Before IntoBridge, we played professionally together. Before that, we were friends. He played for France, I played for Bulgaria. So just looking at each other's face when we know the topic, we know what the other one thinks. So it's pretty easy, but it works. It works well. I'm happy.
How did you guys decide to go into business together?
Well, we played bridge professionally together, so in a way this started long time ago.
Yeah.
But then when COVID started, Luke, the Lear creator, and Christoph started organizing the E-Open, which was a team's competition, but they wanted to make it better. So there was video broadcasting and stuff like that. And they got me on that project. Because I had a previous startup with Bridge and I was in the Bridge circles and I was understanding what they're doing. They invited me to join them. I did. And then some guy came and said, why don't you develop a Bridge platform to me? And I said, well, okay, give me the money and I'll develop it. So he said, okay, I'll find you the money. And he didn't find us the money, but with Christoph we started the project and we found a lead investor who convinced other investors. And yeah, it wasn't one thing, but basically this guy who's never been part of the project, he came and said, why don't you create a platform? I'll find the money. And this is all he did. And I don't mean it in a bad way. He was a good guy, but yeah, this is how it started. So yeah, we'll see where it ends, if it ends.
I know what you talk about, like with my movie, for example. I thought if I make this movie, it's gonna happen. Once the movie's done, people are gonna love it and they're gonna share it, and it's gonna be like when you talked about, everyone will come to play on your platform. It's it's a rude awakening, I think, to put a lot of effort in something, making something really good, putting your all into it, and then finding out that, guess what, that's not necessarily what the market wanted.
Yeah, well, it's bad, but this is the startup reality. Most of the startups fail, and we knew that, and it's fine, but it's way more exciting way to live for me personally. Otherwise, it's just boring. Things should happen every day, many of them, and this keeps me pumped up. And yeah, I like it, although it's super stressful because you have investors that have put real money in you. You have employees that may lose their job. And in startup environment, you have money for like 12 months at best. And it's very stressful, but for me, I entirely enjoy it. Also considering the huge responsibility I have to all the people involved. But generally, it's a nice ride.
What's the hardest part?
Well, the hardest part is when money is finishing and you're not making enough to compensate, and you know that you may let many people down. So you focus 10 times more, even although you were very focused before. But yeah, letting people down, people who have put their money and heart into the project, that's by far the worst story. And the rest is fine. I mean, just putting the work. I said, when you work for Bridge and for your baby, it's really not work at all. Just 100% pleasure, tackling issues. Although there are issues, the reward when you fix it, and you can relate to previous issues that you've had and how much better it gets when you fix it. So yeah, I think Some of our most dedicated users like this the most, that we are responsive, although we may not change something immediately. They like the way that we listen to them and we make something. And if we don't make something, we tell them we don't think that's right because of that, that, and that. And actually, the most surprising thing for those 4 years in this journey is how receptive and how nice are people to us. We every time we do something more, something bigger change or something, we expect people to go crazy and tell us that we are idiots and we shouldn't do that. But for every one person that tells us we are idiots, there are 100 others who say that we are good. And people don't naturally say that you are good. They are more inclined to tell you that you're an idiot normally, especially online. Some of the people, they say a lot of bad stuff online, and when you meet them in person, they're the nicest person ever. So, but I've been like that, and I always remember when when BBO had this many years ago. I don't know, when did you start playing on BBO?
I think so BBO has this one thing that is cool. It tells you when you created your account. And I created my account in 2007, I think.
Yeah, it tells it to people like you who created it after 2005. For those like me who started before that, it says 2005 something, because obviously they started tracking it back then. So BBO at some point, they started advertisements, some banners and stuff, which was annoying, but it's normal, of course, for free users. But at some point, they introduced some banner of a live emoji. So imagine an emoji that pops out of the screen and starts laughing or something with sound, like emoji with sound. It was the most annoying thing, and it would sometimes pop up while you play. And you play, you think how to do this triple squeeze, and this emoji pops up in the middle of the screen, and it was so annoying. So I went to the Bridge forum, BBO forum, and I told them that they're terrorists, because this is like a terrorist attack on Bridge players to play with their brains. And obviously I was harsh, but I always remember that I was using it for free. I was playing 15 hours a day. It was my life, literally. And I was so ungrateful. So now when I receive a negative feedback, first I think, oh, who cares about your opinion? But then I think, no, you spend the time, you texted us, so you really cared.
Yeah.
And I was so much worse back then that I should be more forgiving. And actually people, although some of them say bad things, they don't have bad intentions. And once they speak, you see how much it affects them deep in the heart, because when you use stronger words, normally you care more, actually. So if we learn to not take it that personally, and to think that people are really trying their best to help us. And that's the reality, actually. People are super nice, and when we fix something that they didn't like before, it's been, this site has been much better than I thought before. There aren't any Stefans out there saying that you're a terrorist. I'm the only one, so it's good.
Have you I mean, I don't know this. This is more sort of just my impression, but it seems like what they did with BridgeBase, that was probably a pretty successful thing for the founders like Fred Gittleman. Have you talked to Fred? How much have you talked to Fred about what
they did? In what sense? Like BBO or something?
I mean, they like created BBO, and I think they exited. I think they exited with had a decent exit.
Well, in the startup world of software for 18 plus years, I don't think it was that decent. But again, those people, I suspect they had my mindset now, that I don't care that I can work in a startup with way more opportunities financially, because money, if you have enough to live and to travel, who cares? So I guess they never thought about the money aspect, and as long as they were providing for their families, that was sufficient. They had a good exit, but not in the scope of having worked for 18, 19 years. And also I feel so sad for them, because they exited, I think summer of 2018 or somewhere in 2018. And if they had waited 2 more years, the company would be worth like like probably 5, 10, 15 times more. So in a way, I guess they feel badly for exiting in the scope of what happened afterwards. But I'm sure that they've exited with generational wealth that will keep them going. I've spoken to Fred before. I've always wanted to work with someone like him, of course, although I feel like he's a god and I'm a mortal guy who cannot possibly work with someone like him. Like I look up to him, like him and you, they have done so much for Bridge and Sherry as well. Their whole team afterwards. What they did was amazing, and I worship them, and I can only dream working with them. I don't know if it's possible. I've spoken to Fred about Bridge, but he also had a non-compete contract, and he has dedicated to pool. And I understand him. In a way, I would feel guilty if I make those guys come back and work with us, because they've done what they had to do. And I know that the sparkle is probably still there. And if I manipulate them in a good way, maybe they'll be more responsive. But yeah, I don't know. But I would love to work with them. If they listen to that and they want to work with us, guys, you're most welcome. We cannot pay you, but we can find you a lot of work to do. And this is what I tell many people, guys. We cannot pay you, but if you really want to work, we have plenty of work. So, yeah.
Well, think about, like, I mean, I think about it after I asked you that question. Like, think about how much they did for Bridge with BridgeBase. Like,
yeah,
it's amazing, you know, like, I mean, it's such a part of my life, like using BridgeBase. I use BridgeBase all the time.
I grew up literally, I spent many years for 10, 15 hours on BBO. So it was huge having the free access, the first free platform for me coming from Bulgaria, where $10 back then was a fortune. Being a kid, just playing cards was bad enough, but if I had to pay for it, it would never worked out. But because it was free and you were getting access to all these good players, it was huge for me. And yeah, they have, for our generation of players, they have been like the heart of our Bridge body, basically. Yeah, but still a lot more needs to be done for Bridge. I feel strongly about the way we should move forward. We look at chess, we talk about chess, how successful they are and how terrible we are. So much can be done about getting new players and scaling up the game, because it's not just that it's an amazing game, but you see now that people are more online, more antisocial. And Bridge, although we talk about online Bridge, when you like it, it always evolves towards live Bridge. And it's something that people are missing: new connections, people to meet, having these casual discussions, making new friends. I have so many friends from Bridge, and it's nice to talk to all of them, and it adds to my social life and general happiness. So Bridge can offer a lot to today's generation, but we are not selling it right. We are so bad at selling it. And also, if we sell it, we need to send you to a Bridge club and go to a Bridge teacher. I think that we should have like 20 platforms that can teach new players and introduce new people to the game, because we see online is the best way to get new people. And when you have 20 different products, some of them will be actually good, because in competition you obviously do better stuff. And this is what we are missing big time. We need to invest a lot more in that.
All right. So, but it doesn't seem like, I mean, you talk about like how difficult it is and to introduce new people and the online platforms. It doesn't seem like that is your focus with IntoBridge.
So no, it wasn't, because our master plan when we started was because when you get new people, it's much more difficult to make them pay. And when you have customers who know the game, it's usually easier to make them pay. So our initial strategy, which is still only just taking more time, is to monetize on current players by providing them with facilities they like to play and they would pay for. And after we have a viable business, then focus on recruiting new people. So the original plan was that we would be at that stage already, but we are not. And yes, we are focusing on current players just because we hope that this will be the easier way to build up the business. But it doesn't have to be. Tricky Bridge is doing very well. By the way, for those who don't know and you want to teach people to play, go to Tricky Bridge. They're competitors, but they're the only platform that has a facility to teach you play bridge. And yeah, maybe then you try IntoBridge. But yeah, Tricky Bridge, BBO, Fun Bridge, IntoBridge, and 20 others. Everybody should have facility to teach new players play the game and then grow it, because we know that the numbers are disastrous worldwide of current bridge players. Every federation is dropping down. Even the online platforms that are BBO, FunBridge, they're losing members. Everybody is losing members, and unless we really focus on fixing that we will not, like until now. And yeah, that was maybe the moral incentive about why starting IntoBridge, because I wanted to develop a platform that can teach people bridge, but it just didn't seem business viable back then. Maybe it was, actually, considering what didn't work in the beginning with our master plan. But yeah, and this is where we should focus on development in near or not so near future. In near future for the bridge, for us, whenever we can, like IntoBridge.
So who are you playing with in Memphis?
So I'll be playing again with James Holtzhauer, Jeopardy James. We play quite often. We like each other, and he wants to play with good players, and I want to play with famous people. Although James has been counterproductive on my promotion, because when I don't play with James, we finish the round, and now we need to wait to move for the next round. And I'm more colorful than the other person usually with my hats and dress. So they ask me, what is this? But when I'm with James, I can be there completely naked. Nobody will notice. The only time anybody is paying attention to me is when they ask me to take a picture of them. And actually, if I was charging them, I told him I'll start charging per picture. I'll become rich here. So yeah, I'll be playing with James again, some of the tournaments, and also my fiance, Desi, you mentioned her earlier. She's coming for first time at US Nationals. She's really good at bridge, and I hope that she'll be able to reveal her potential. Because I think she can do really great there. So it's a special national for me, because, better if your wife likes what you do and where you go than not.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it will be great. And then actually we're visiting Sveni in Florida, Sven Eriksson, which you also mentioned before. He lives in Delray Beach. So we're going to stay there for a week, and we're gonna go to the local clubs, see how it works there. We didn't mention during this call that we were in England for 5 years, in London, in one of the biggest bridge clubs in the world. I've also been to the New York big club. What was the name? The Honors, when it was before COVID, it was big. But I've never been to Florida, and now I know that it's like a mecca of bridge, and I want to visit the local places there. It will be very interesting.
How did you and Svenny become friends?
Well, I like people who do things more than people who talk things. And while I talk, I look what people do. And Svenny is one of those enablers that actually do things and make things possible to connect different bridge worlds. And he's been on my radar for a long time. And then when I had leverage, like something to offer, I approached him. But Actually, no, I've never given him anything. He's just great to me. And when I organized my first festival, he sent 5 people from Iceland to Bulgaria. And I asked so many friends, and either nobody came or didn't tell anybody, but Sveni couldn't come but sent 5 people. And he's done a lot for the Bridge Festival in Madeira, in Iceland. He's a great enabler, and I like being friends with people like him. So that's why that's why I approach him and stay around him, because he's a real guy that speaks up what is in his mind, and I like that a lot.
Very and Bulgarian you guys were in style. Second place after the first day of the Reykjavik Masters.
Yeah,
after the first day.
Actually, one of our teammate pairs, Sveni, was a bit worried before the tournament about their performance, but the guys were killing it and were top of the Butler, one of the top pairs. The first day, Sveni and I played well, but the second day didn't go so well. Yeah, we were doing better than we expected, but eventually we went down. And although we are great friends, we are not an experienced partnership with him. So the field was so strong, although you won very easily. I don't think that was fair. Your team was strong, but there were like 10 super strong teams. You make it look like an easy win, but the field was huge. And I was really worried we will come bottom, because when you come, although my partner is good, I'm decent. When you don't have experience, everybody there is doing that all the time, playing bridge together. So I'm happy with how we ended up. We didn't embarrass ourselves. So yeah, it was fine. And it's very nice when you make mistakes with Sveni. Just goes with some joke and you carry on, and you don't kill each other, but you don't keep quiet. You know that you can tease him and make a joke, and it's fine. This is actually, you asked me before about my successes in bridge, and I was super miserable back then. Now I'm so happy selecting my partners, making jokes, and I feel like winning more than I have won before. It's just so satisfying to have the same mindset with partner, and to know that he doesn't hate you for not leading a trump or something else. Or if he does hate you, in 5 minutes, he'll forgive you. And yeah, that's very important, to pick your partners correctly, and not the best the best player is not the best partner usually.
Yeah. Are you and Desi playing the mixed pairs? Is that one of the events you're playing?
Well, she'll be watching that, so maybe I shouldn't answer what is in my heart, but I
hope you're still in the Vanderbilt.
No, actually, I hope that she gets hired, or she finds some strong partners, so I can play some other event, because I'm not too much into mixed events, and especially playing with your wife, it's very tough. It's very tough, and for men especially, it's just very tough. And playing with Desi, she has very strong opinions sometimes, and it gets ugly. But we haven't played for many years now, and I hope she'll be nice with me. And yeah, generally we should play the mixed pairs together unless something changes.
What event are you playing with James?
With James, we'll play the good question. I think the last 2 days, the Swiss teams, the Jacobi Swiss teams, and before that, the 2-day pairs. Last year, we were doing extremely well in that event, but the last session didn't go well, and we finished somewhere like 15th, and we want to do better than that, so we'll see.
I'm actually playing on a team with James in the U.S. trials in April.
Wow, that's nice. Yeah. Who else is there?
He's playing with Fred Stewart. I'm playing with Will Watson, and our teammates are, we also have Bart Bramley and Kit Woolsey.
Okay, very nice team. So good luck to you. I had friends, 3 Bulgarians. They had actually a 4th, and they have a 10-year plan to come to those qualifications and eventually win them. And instead of having USA 1 and 2, have Bulgarian 1 and 2 at World Championships. But so far, their plan is not going great. But yeah, they have 10 years. So be aware, you have Bulgarian competitors.
Are you thinking about moving to the US? Did you tell me that?
I mentioned it as possibility, but it's complicated moving to the US. I guess since 1 or 2 months ago, and it's even harder.
True.
But yeah, because most of the IntoBridge users are North Americans, and it's best to market the platform there. And also, I think Desi will like it a lot because you can play so much competitive bridge, and that's all she wants to do, play competitively. In Bulgaria, unfortunately, it's mostly weekend tournaments, and in the US, it's Tuesday till Sunday, so she'll be very satisfied. But it's a big step, so now she's coming for first time. She's been there 15 years ago, but now we'll see. For me, it's very easy to move. I'm not like stuck at one place. I actually prefer to move wherever. We used to live in London for several years. Maybe we go back there, but we'll see. I like trying the States a bit less recently, but still maybe it's still an opportunity.
And is Desi at the place where you are at your house here now, or your apartment?
She was until a few hours ago, but she left for a bridge tournament. So I'm working at home, and she's going to play. She's right now playing, and I told her, don't call me because I'm busy. But eventually, when things go south for her session is not going well, she calls me to tell me that I need to wish her luck. She hasn't yet done anything, so maybe she's not doing too badly. But yeah, she plays a lot of bridge.
Well, please give her my best and tell her I'm looking forward to seeing her and you in Memphis, and we should get together for a meal.
Definitely. Thanks, John. I guess we're finishing this podcast now. So I want to use the opportunity to thank you because although I haven't approached you for the Daily Celebrity Challenge before, I think that you are a very important person in bridge. You created this amazing movie before, but then you had the podcast, and also through your private sponsorship of professionals that have harder time to be hired. I think you're a great enabler of bridge, and if there are more people like you, this game will do really wonderful. And I know that very often this job feels unrewarding and nobody cares, but really people do. For example, I've cared about what you do for 15 years and I've never told you. So I just want you to tell you to keep doing what you're doing, because people see it and it makes difference. And although you are not told so, it does. So thank you.
Thank you, Stefan. I really appreciate that. That's yeah.
Yeah, sure. Well, thanks for inviting me. I know that the list of your guests is really amazing. So being on that list again, I feel privileged. And I hope people will enjoy this and maybe try the Daily Celebrity Challenge to beat John one day soon.
Yeah, let's get a record. Let's get a new record for the Daily Celebrity Challenge.
Absolutely, we can do it.
And I'll record my video and everything on my own so that you can play in it and you can get your good score.
This will be amazing, because recording people every day, you don't know how much of my time this is. Although I'm enjoying to meet these people, yes, I'll be looking forward to receive your recording.
All right. Thanks, Stefan. I really enjoyed it, and thank you. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks, John.